All right, so get this. Donald Trump is going on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Oh.
I know, right? And you know it's going to be big.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be huge. I mean, just think about it. Joe Rogan's podcast, it's massive.
It's unbelievable how many people listen to that show.
Millions and
On
millions.
Spotify alone, he's got like, what, 20 million subscribers or something?
Something like that.
And then YouTube and Instagram and Apple Podcasts.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. And to think Trump's choosing this over like, the usual go on CNN or something.
It's a whole different strategy, isn't
That
it?
makes you think, what's he trying to do here?
Reach a whole new audience, I think.
Definitely younger crowd, I bet.
For sure. People who don't watch cable news, you know?
Right. And what's interesting, too, is that Rogan and Trump, they haven't always seen eye to eye.
Oh, yeah. Their relationship it's complicated.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I mean, Rogan has actually criticized some of Trump's policies pretty openly.
He has, yeah. He's called him out on certain things for sure.
But then here's the thing that throws me for a loop. He's also said recently that he'd prefer Trump over Biden. And he's been pretty tough on Kamala Harris, too.
It's like he's shifting or something.
Right. I mean, what do you think is behind that?
Well, maybe it's kind of like how a lot of people are feeling these days, you know?
How so?
Like maybe there's this growing disillusionment with the way things are going.
You mean politically?
Yeah. And maybe Rogan's picking up on that and it's pushing him in a different direction.
So you're saying if a lot of Rogan's listeners are feeling that same way,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of them are probably younger,
Uh-huh.
less likely to be following the news every night.
Exactly.
Could this be Trump's way of reaching those people directly?
I think that's a very real possibility.
It's pretty genius if you think about it.
It really is.
Trump getting in front of millions of people who wouldn't normally hear him.
And doing it in a way that feels more casual, more authentic, you know?
Yeah, like he's just one of the guys hanging out with Joe Rogan.
Right. No suits, no podium, no
It's
teleprompter.
a conversation.
And that can be really powerful.
Especially in this day and age.
It's a whole different ballgame.
So then the question is, how much impact could this actually have?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Like, could this actually sway votes in the election?
We'll have to wait and see, but I think it has the potential to be a real game changer.
It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. This is one we can't afford to miss. I mean, you got to think about it. This is the guy who had Elon Musk on. And
Whoa.
Tesla stock went crazy after that.
That's right. Everyone remembers that when he smoked weed on the show.
Yeah, Tesla's stock tanked.
It's proof that what happens on Rogan's show, it doesn't just stay there,
Yeah.
It
It has real world impact.
definitely. And it's not just business either. Remember what happened with Andrew Yang?
Oh, yeah.
After he went on Rogan's podcast, his campaign got this huge boost.
It's true. He was barely on anyone's radar before that.
Right. So you could almost say Rogan has this power to make or break people.
Almost like a kingmaker.
Yeah. And why do you think that is?
I think it's because Rogan doesn't feel like a typical, political commentator.
He doesn't have that pundit vibe.
No, not at all. He's just a guy talking.
Having a conversation.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes him so appealing, especially to younger listeners.
They're not into all the political drama.
They want something real, something authentic.
And Rogan gives them that.
He does.
Yeah.
So from Trump's perspective, you can see why going on this show is a smart move.
It makes perfect sense.
Especially when you consider who Rogan's audience is.
A lot of young men, right?
Yeah, a lot of them. And that's a key demographic for Trump.
They might not be watching the news, but they're listening to Rogan.
Exactly. So Trump can get his message straight to them without any filter.
It's like bypassing the whole system.
It is. And, okay, I have to ask. You think Rogan's going to bring up the UFO thing?
You know he's going to.
He has to. It's like his signature move at this point.
I can already picture Trump trying to dodge the question, Rogan pressing him for answers.
It'll be hilarious. But honestly, I'm more interested to see how he handles the political stuff.
Like, will he challenge Trump on the 2020 election?
Exactly. Will he push back on any of his claims?
It's going to be fascinating to watch how it all plays out.
It's like a verbal boxing match.
Two heavyweights going head to head.
And don't forget, Rogan's audience is known for being super vocal.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be all over this.
Commenting, debating, sharing it everywhere.
This is going to be way bigger than just a podcast episode.
This is going to spark a whole conversation.
That could potentially last for weeks.
Months, even.
And maybe even influence the election.
That's the big question, isn't it?
It's definitely a possibility.
This whole thing, it's more than just entertainment.
It's about power. It's about media. It's about how we consume information.
And who has the power to shape it?
Makes you wonder, like, are we going to see more of this? More candidates skipping the usual media stuff and just going straight to podcasts?
I think it's a real possibility.
Yeah.
Especially these days when so many people just don't trust the mainstream media anymore.
They're looking for something different, something more real.
Right. Like a podcast, you get that one-on-one feeling. It's more intimate.
More authentic.
Yeah. You're not just getting a soundbite, you're hearing the whole conversation.
Plus, let's be honest, it's entertaining.
Oh, absolutely.
People are going to tune in just for the drama.
To see if Trump goes off script.
Or if Rogan pushes his buttons.
Exactly. It's like a reality show mixed with a political debate.
And from Trump's perspective, it's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. He gets to control the narrative.
Bypass all the usual gatekeepers.
And Rogan gets huge ratings.
Everybody wins.
It's a smart move all around.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to ask you, what's the one thing our listeners should really take away from all this?
I think the big takeaway is that this isn't just about Trump and Rogan.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah, this is about how the whole media landscape is changing.
How we get our information.
Exactly. It's not just coming from the top down anymore.
It's more fragmented, more decentralized.
And in that kind of environment, people like Rogan and Trump, they have a lot of power.
They can reach millions of people directly.
Without any filters.
So we have to be careful
More critical than ever.
about what we believe.
Do your own research. Don't just take things at face value.
That's great advice. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you learned something new.
And we encourage you to keep digging deeper.
Because the world is changing fast. And the more informed we are, the better prepared we'll be.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep diving deep.